Jimmy Haslam forcing Shedeur Sanders on Kevin Stefanski backfired, says Browns insider. Jimmy Haslam's fingerprints have hovered over Browns roster decisions before. Deshaun Watson's mistake, which he still regrets, is the true representation of the aftermath of his involvement. And even though Andrew Berry insisted, "Let us do our jobs," this time, some in league circles weren't buying the idea that Shedeur Sanders just fell into their lap at pick 144. It looked a little too choreographed, like a billionaire owner meets PR opportunity moment. GM Berry and Kevin Stefanski didn't exactly light up the draft room when Sanders' name was called. There was polite clapping, sure, but not the kind you see when someone just landed their guy. And Stefanski's smile? More political than personal. Publicly, the team line never wavered. 110% Berry's decision, said Mary Kay Cabot, quoting the GM's stance. No owner directive. No backroom push. Berry himself called Sanders mispriced, and Stefanski praised him as a heck of a football player. But for a rookie with first-round hype and fifth-round mileage, Shedeur walked into Cleveland under a strange cloud of suspicion, and a media frenzy that hasn't stopped since. Then came the ultimate Cleveland sports show, where insider Garrett Bush finally put a voice to what many suspected was brewing inside the building. They planned on taking him, Bush said. But guess what? The difference between him and Tim Tebow, the biggest one? He can play. He can throw the ball. Furthermore, Bush praised Sanders' quiet approach, his chemistry in the locker room, and the buzz building around his arm talent. He ain't mad about the reps. All people want to see now, we want to see what he can do with Jerry Jeudy, with David Njoku, with Judkins. So, it's up for debate whether this talk show host can or cannot speak on behalf of Cleveland, and what the vibe among the fans is. But one thing's for sure, he was certainly making his wishes known. Bush didn't hold back. If you're beating down the doors with the 3s and 4s, guess what? You deserve more. That was a bar. It rhymed. It was cold. That quote hit harder than anything from the front office this spring. Why? Because it came with real substance. Sanders didn't just show up. He quietly outplayed most of the room. And now, post-minicamp, the dynamic has shifted. The Browns may have tried to ease Shedeur in behind Dillon Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco, but his 77.4% completion rate and 9 touchdowns in team drills speak louder than any draft room video clip. The question isn't if Haslam forced it. It's whether the play forced Stefanski's hand instead, the dog pound all in on Shedeur Sanders to take the starting job. It's a quarterback room full of uncertainty. Flacco brings age and experience. Pickett was a mid-season addition, and Gabriel arrived with a third-round tag. Shedeur Sanders? He came in with headlines, constant prime attention, a Heisman pedigree, and a chip carved straight from a 5-round fall. Still, inside the walls in Berea, not everyone sees a backup. ESPN's Kimberly A. Martin reported, "There are people who believe that Shedeur can 100% be the starter of this football team. That belief isn't just tied to his name. Sanders has been the last one off the field, the first in the film room, and the loudest voice in a silent rise up the depth chart." In the QB room, talking to Flacco, wanting to learn, Martin noted, "He is soaking up everything like a sponge." That kind of hustle doesn't go unnoticed. And it helps that he's been clean and sharp in early reps, completing 77.4% of his passes in team drills with 9 touchdowns and just 1 interception. As for Gabriel, he's no slouch either. One team source told Martin, "He's everything you want in a quarterback. He's just small." Still, the whispers around Shedeur are starting to echo louder. The Browns staff, according to ESPN Cleveland's Tony Grossi, confirmed that Sanders has had 11 first-team reps away from the media's lens. And while Kevin Stefanski says not to read too much into open practice rotations, it's clear the QB competition is more real than ceremonial. Even kids at the Browns youth camp asked Sanders if he's starting over Flacco. "I don't know," he said. But that question doesn't come up unless the chatter is already there. Even Johnny Manziel weighed in on his Glory Days podcast, drawing parallels with his own NFL arrival. "Honestly, Sanders could come out and win the job," Manziel said. "I think the kid worked really hard, and he loves the game." For a franchise desperate for stability under center, Shedeur's blend of humility, pedigree, and performance might just be the surprise path to a fresh start. Struggling Deion Sanders gets a hard reality check as Michael Irvin announces Cowboys Legends health update. Deion Sanders has been an active character in the world of football for years. Starting off as a rare player to play in both the NFL and the MLB, he became a rare one when he played in both the Super Bowl and the World Series. After a pretty good season in 2024, Sanders was looking forward to the next season. Suddenly, rumors of him undergoing medical treatment came up, sparking concerns. With wishes from fans and followers flooding in, he sent out a tweet assuring them that everything was fine. He even talked about how God was with him and how he'll soon be with his team. However, things seem to have taken an ugly turn, with reports suggesting that his health has taken a hit. It is in these bad times that you often get epiphanies. And Coach Prime has had one too. Posting a screenshot of his tweet on Instagram, he shared the reality check he's had and gave us one as well. In his post, Deion Sanders talks about the importance of living in the present. He also spoke about how life is unpredictable and how we need to work with what we have. Yesterday is gone and today is here. Now what are you going to do with today? Stop living in your past and creating a false sense of where you really are in life. Life ain't what you want it to be, and you're going to have to do something about it. Plan your work and work your plan. Hashtag Coach Prime, he wrote. Talking about how staying in the past might seem pleasant, but affects your future, giving us one more formula on how to live life the Coach Prime way. Sanders has maybe now realized the importance of living in the present. And in a way, he's also just motivating himself to get better quicker. This gives us hope that Coach Prime is definitely feeling better and that it is just a matter of time before we see him out there, fingers crossed. While the updates shared by his old friend and Cowboys legend Michael Irvin have got us praying for him, there's peace in knowing that God will help him recover. Day by day, Michael Irvin sends a somber update about Deion Sanders. While we haven't really known what happened to Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin visited him in the hospital and, in a way, gave us an update. A video posted by Did You Know This Thing's Instagram page showed the ex-NFLer talking about Sanders. With his voice cracking and tears in his eyes, he only had one request for everyone who loves Coach Prime. Pray for my boy. Showing that while information on Sanders' illness was unknown, it was something serious. Speaking in the video, Irvin said, "He's going to be okay because God has him. But I do need you to pray for him and pray for his strength through whatever he has to go through." While not revealing anything about Sanders' illness. And it's all righteous here because, you find out life's about a lot of peaks and valleys, and he's been having so many great peaks. He got a huge deal this year, a $60 million deal. And all of a sudden here, you find out you have more health issues and you're right back in the throes, right back in it, he added. His voice quivering and eyes still wet from the sadness of seeing his friend like that. Irvin reflected on how life can just turn around in moments, referring to how Sanders had gotten a huge 5-year, $54 million deal with Colorado just months ago, while also talking about the valleys the man has had to face. He was, of course, talking about the many unfortunate instances that Sanders had to face, be it the unfortunate car crash in '97 or the amputations he had to go through in 2021 due to blood clots. Even though all of us will be praying for Deion Sanders, the moral of the story remains. Coach Prime always rises back.